Nigga rap, yeah. They thought I lost it or some shit, right? Fuck it. Yeah. Whoa. Shit, riddle me this, riddle me that. Yeah. Shit, if you a bitch.
What the fuck is going on, y'all? We're back with another episode of Wolf2Wolf. I'm here, the host with the most, Wolf Cobain, joined with my other host,
Rico Cloude. Y'all know what it is. Stop playing.
And talk to him. Who we got on the ones and twos today?
You got Ralph on the ones and twos mixing it up for y'all. I'll be in the
Yes,
background
sir.
playing the cup, but I'm here too.
He dropping Funk Master
My
Flex
nigga,
bombs on you. Boom, nigga.
Dead.
Nah, so it's been a minute since our last episode, so pretty much like what's been going on with y'all? What's up? What's new? Like how's life? What's going on? Any current events y'all been thinking about? Shit been busting your head? What's up?
Word, nah, for me, I ain't even gonna lie. We've been back on this betting wave, you know what I'm saying? The sports betting wave. Yo, for all
Fuck
you
FanDuel,
children
yo.
out there, word. FanDuel K, but respectfully, like, for all you children out there, remember, sports betting is the biggest gamble. You don't know what's gonna happen, no matter what the statistics say, no matter what anything says. So, shit,
And it's a
I've
script.
definitely learned my lesson.
It's a script, so guess what? You pick that
a
under, pick that under. They're going over. Just know
Word,
that.
yo, what's going on with the WWE though, my G? I already know we was talking about.
Yo, bro, I look.
Yo.
For all my wrestling fans out there, if y'all not tuned in right now,
Yo,
nigga,
what's going on?
this is one of the best. Like, all right, when we was kids, nigga,
Yeah, this
like,
is what we wanted.
this right here
We
is
should do this.
this is the storyline telling that shit. Like, you feel me? That we really
Yup.
wanted as a kid, or that we had back then when we was growing up. Because I'm not gonna lie, right now they got it, bro. They got it. They still putting out good pay per views. It's good content. It's good storytelling. I'm tired of this nigga being champion, but hopefully WrestleMania fix that.
Damn.
Speaking
No
of
Roman Reigns
which,
fans here.
who was your top 5 wrestlers when you was coming up?
Oh, all right. Before we even jump into that question, I just wanted to state real quick that WWE, if y'all do allow sports betting, y'all the biggest scammers and finesses.
And
if
y'all
y'all
be
legally
word.
could do that, you were the biggest finesses.
And if y'all do, y'all
ever.
better change that script up, nigga. Better make
Because
it
it can't
interesting.
now. It
Oh,
can't
yeah,
be a
word.
script. What we talking about? Because y'all know the answers, bro. That's crazy.
And
And
we know the
I want
answers
in though.
too. Word.
I want in though.
PC, nigga.
Feel me? But nah, top 5. Whoa, wrestlers all time.
I mean,
Is it a current? I mean,
guess
I'm
you
not
can
gonna lie.
you
I'm
can
not
all time.
super. I'm not super hip to the current. Like I've watched it here and there, but like,
Yeah, so you can go old time. You go old time.
all right. Well, I'm not gonna lie. That's a challenging debate because I feel like, in general, wrestlers and wrestling, everyone had their like, yo, I really like this person for this reason. Some people,
right.
you know, they follow the villain. Some people follow this person.
So you could go off of the errors.
But
then.
I'm gonna go. Nah, I'm not even gonna go off errors. I'm just gonna go off who I liked. If it was me playing a video game, it was me watching their highlights, right? Because some
bet.
people I couldn't feel me. I wasn't alive to see. But I'm gonna go with no random order, but off rip, I gotta throw in the Undertaker for the simple fact that when I was growing up
That
as a
guy right
kid,
there.
he was the only
21 and 1.
undefeated WrestleMania feel me person ever wrestler,
That
and sadly he lost, but.
be like,
That
that's
was
that
the
script
greatest
right there,
achievement.
nigga.
Everyone was like, no one's ever done this. This is the one of one Undertaker. So I gotta throw him in there just for that because the biggest events he was always that nigga. Other than him, I was a really big fan. A whole nother lane here, but Jeff Hardy was probably one of
That
my
nigga
favorite.
HB ain't no Hardy
Feel
boy,
me?
baby.
You know
Let's
what I'm
talk
saying?
about it.
So Jeff Hardy was like sensational. He was just exactly what as a kid it was just like, wow, this nigga jumping off the top rope and just destroying himself. Now being older, I'm like, damn, my nigga, you my back hurt just watching Jeff
I'm not
Hardy
gonna lie,
highlights. Like
I used to be tight that they wouldn't get this nigga a championship or nothing, but after seeing what he
Word.
put his body through for all them years, I could kind of see why they
yeah,
didn't do that to him.
and feel me, we're not even gonna get too in it, but Jeff Hardy, sorry you had to take the routes that you did. I hope that
We
feel
still
me?
Hardy boys for life, bro.
Yeah, you already know, man. You know what I'm saying? Shout out Jeff Hardy.
We gonna get him on the pod soon.
Damn, word. Join up. We could talk about a lot on feel me with Jeff Hardy.
Word. Tag
But
Jeff
nah.
Hardy in the comments, y'all.
Other than that, though, we got Jeff Hardy, Undertaker. I gotta go Triple H. He's a legend, especially now. Like everything that he's done up to now, like now he's like the chairman and all this. Like
You talking Hunter Hearst Helmsley
I'm
till now, or from
yes, bro.
from when he
Because
turned to Triple H?
even the feel me like the DMX like all the Triple H, every stage of Triple H, even the old nigga that came back and won the title in 2016, like every version of Triple H has some sort of like wow, like this dude when it comes down to a character entertainment, he's got to be in that list for sure.
cerebral assassin. nigga.
Oh man, Damn, I can't even. Oof, that's 3, right?
That's
Undertaker, Hardy.
and Triple H.
I'm not gonna lie, respectfully, I gotta go. Feel me? I gotta go with John Cena because
there
it's
we
like,
go.
feel me? I know these are more like maybe Undertaker and Triple H. I know they more like they started a long time ago. John Cena did too, but I know his fame was like further down the line.
I'm not gonna lie, that's ruthless aggression right
Yeah,
there.
of course. You already know Thugonomics. Stop playing. You know
Word.
what I'm saying? But now Jeff Hardy did it different, especially like when he bought out, he won the WWE title and turned that shit into a spinning fucking, feel me? He changed the belt. Like, his whole culture, his whole vibe, like, that shit was just, it was everything. And then, to end it off, I gotta go with another person that came out, superstar status.
Oh, man, who's this?
You already know. Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
If you
feel
smell
me? What The Rock is cooking.
And niggas are acting now.
Feel me? Even though like he came and had a few like subtle moments. Like, oh yeah, I'm back for this match or whatever. Sadly I was too young when he was in his prime. But the highlights I saw and all the illegal whatever streams I had access, whatever sites that had so I could finally watch the old WWE.
Yo, bro, that was a shitty thing. Niggas could never see the pay per view.
Yo, you can never.
Like, I always come to school the next day. Like, after that Sunday, like, damn, I don't know how niggas knew what happened before I did, but like,
I don't know.
The same age niggas got the pay per view. I'm like, I don't know.
And it was just like, shout out to social media now. It's so easy. Like,
Word.
all
You
the other
gotta
shit.
watch it.
Yeah, you really don't. They gonna post the highlights for you, and now like WWE's on Peacock. Like you just subscribe like on some Netflix shit, and now you got access to all the wrestling.
Literally every pay per view from when this shit started, WrestleMania 1 to now, nigga.
Yeah,
like,
for real.
everything.
And I would just say like the reason why most of these people are my top 5. Obviously they're legends. If you watch wrestling, you know all those names. But it's just the idea that like I just think they played their characters and their roles really well over time. Even like Undertaker, who switched up so many different vibes. Like I mean, they all kind of did, but like Undertaker from this like dark fucking like this death, like you know what I'm saying, with the hat and everything, to like the biker and then like
badass, right?
yeah, and then Cena too. Feel me? My son John Cena was Thugonomics and this, and he was even way before that when he was United States champion. He was in his feel me the tighty whitey shorts or whatever. And
ruthless aggression, my nigga.
Ruthless aggression, like all the different stages to the jean shorts, the you can't see me, the whole.
Yo, I'm not gonna lie, that's the one nigga that wrestled in jean shorts. Like I never blew my mind, bro. Blew my mind.
Only niggas I seen with jean shorts was old heads on the block.
That's a fact. That's a fact. But yo, my top 5, I would have to say Jeff Hardy's definitely in there. I have a fucking Hardy Boy chain. I never forget. I seen that nigga live.
Word.
That's my guy right there. We got the same film. We got the same initials going on. So I was jacking the HB. Feel me, Hardy Boys. That's all.
Hardy Boy. He was a Hardy Boy. He was the third member.
That's a fact. For me, you see me. I came out on the pay per view sometimes, but definitely at a point in time, I would say when I was coming up, like I was younger, Rey Mysterio was in there.
Oh yeah, that's a fact. It's a great honorable mention for me.
That's for me. John Cena's definitely in there. I'm not gonna lie, it's a toss up between Batista and Randy Orton to put them in this spot. But I'm gonna put Randy in here. I'm gonna put Randy in here because he, for me, youngest world heavyweight champion at the time.
Word. He was cool with Triple H. Then he beefed with Triple H.
What was that?
He was beefing with Cena. There's so much going on.
Word. That was 3, right?
Where you at? Orton,
Cena and Hardy. This isn't in no particular order, by the way. I like a lot of wrestlers. Shawn Michaels, Heartbreak Kid, man, Mr. HBK, that nigga. Feel me? Come to the real. All right, hit the pyrotechnics and all that shit in the back. I ain't gonna lie, my boy Brock Lesnar, because that nigga's a monster, bro.
Word.
Like he's a fucking monster. Yeah, shout out to that nigga,
when
bro.
it comes to power
the
and
beast incarnate, nigga. That guy right there. I'm not gonna lie, he hurt my feelings when he beat the Undertaker, but it's like, I get it. It's like the passing the torch and shit.
And he had one of the most random, like a random fact, but like he won the Royal Rumble like once in like 2002 or some shit, and then like 20 years later he won some 18 years later. Yeah, so he's been doing it for a minute. He's been a beast for a long time. That's a fact.
Yo, bro, that shit, like, and that's the type of thing, like, that wrestling right there, that was like a big part of the culture back there. So it was just like,
it really was. I remember the little action figures, playing with them, the little fake arenas,
all the WWE games, nigga.
Oh my god, word.
SmackDown, here comes the pain, nigga. All that for me.
My PSP, man. If you know, you know, man.
Definitely,
PS2, PS3, all the wrestling games was just like too fun for sure.
But while we talking about sports, let's switch it over to, for me, a different league over here.
Let's
talk about, for me, maybe one of the other scripted leagues, as they say. For me, recently, since we've been doing this, LeBron broke that scoring record.
Yes, he did.
So now, my question, congrats to the, for me, to LeGoat James. My question is,
what's your question?
who's the greatest now? Who you putting in that?
LeBron James is not. I know you said switching leagues, but athlete, LeBron James is the greatest athlete we have ever seen. I feel there's no real debate. Yeah, when it comes to basketball, you could bring up a bunch of different names. Obviously, the most common, Jordan and all this stuff. But I think when it comes down to athlete, like Jordan had 13 seasons where he was just like amazing. Mm-hmm. LeBron James is on his 20th season and he's still amazing, still doing stuff that's like, yo, everyone at this age can't even maintain.
Yep. And for those
that
of
in itself is like, and you broke the scoring record. That being said, you could always be like, well, he had all the time, but like, again, when someone got to this level, there's only so many names that was 20 years down the line in the NBA that was still balling, still building. Imagine a team that's still building around you. You're not a role player. You didn't jump to 6 man.
That's all it is.
And you didn't change your role. None of that. You're 20 years in the league.
The star, nigga.
Still building around you. Like that greatness.
Also,
no question about it.
All them other greats, feel me, when they got to age 38, they weren't averaging damn near 30 points. They weren't performing like LeBron James. And even though now he's starting to get a little more on the injury bug, all those people that, you know, somebody would put before him right now, or people who didn't even get to pass that threshold of like, yo, this is my 20th season, we gonna drop 30, you feel me? We still playoff possibly contention every time I'm on the team. You know what I'm saying? Like, even though they you know, at the bottom right now, but that whole Western Conference is kind of couple games win or lose. Couple games win or lose, but I don't know, because I've been seeing a lot of debates. People still like, nah, I can't give him the greatest. I'm just like, yo, for like over 40 something years or whatever, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar has had this record.
That's a fact.
And it took this man.
Correction, it's 38 years.
Excuse me.
Let him know, Ralph.
38. My fault.
We're not even gonna jump into the 38s.
Remember that number, though. Remember that number, yo. 38. He's 38. You feel me? There we go.
38th day of the year. We can go on.
Everything. 38, man. 38,000.
You ain't know, now you know, huh?
38. But yeah, nah, bro. That's definitely
legendary status.
That's different, bro. Like in any aspect of sports, like I'm not gonna lie, I haven't even seen any other sport have like a record broken like that recently. I don't think. Not to my knowledge.
Not no all time. I mean, of course, in football, like Brady has the most championships, more than any franchise. That's pretty iconic. Stuff like that, like you said, is his own levels to this. You feel me? Like it's really just like LeBron James is one of one. You know what I'm saying? Like just like Jordan is one of one. I mean, I know a lot of people compare, you know, Kobe and him and the Mamba mentality and all this, like this killer. Like I miss me versus like LeBron James when it comes to the NBA. NBA is a team sport. LeBron is the best. Michael Jordan, yeah, he passed the ball a few times in those finals, and that's how he got his ring. But at the end of the day, LeBron James is the greatest basketball player we have ever seen in all forms. There's so much more to basketball than scoring and playing one-on-one.
He can do it all. So when you have a player that can do it all,
and even it's not even that. It's like, oh yeah, this player is really good at this. This player is really good at that. Right? Every player has its own. You feel me? You got the Hakeem, one of the best centers. Shaq is the most dominant center. He's amazing in the paint. He can dunk on anybody. Like all these different, like, oh, he was the best at this. LeBron literally is in every category. Like if you talk about the best, you can put LeBron in everything. In scoring, the greatest assist. The
nigga's literally almost a top 10 in every category.
The only thing that people say is just because like his accolades don't show is, you know, the defensive. You know what I'm saying? Like he doesn't have super like a bunch of defensive statistics.
To be fair though, he did get robbed of a defensive player of the year
type shit.
So he would have had.
And that's what I'm saying. Like he has that. Like he's everywhere. He's all, and it's like they built a team around him for so long that he didn't have to worry about these things. That's why people might be like, oh nah, look at this, look at that. But it's just like, the dude did it all. Like every team, imagine Jordan. Like even when he joined Miami, like they already he was the best player. Like it wasn't like it was, oh yeah, we feeding him. Like again with the Lakers, like the Lakers signed a 30-something-year-old, like what was it, 34, 35-year-old LeBron.
Word.
They
like
signed. I think it was 33. I think it was 34,
4 years.
33.
I mean, my fault, right?
Yeah, I think it was a 4-year deal. It was like, yo, yes, LeBron is different, but the fact that it was like, nah, like he's already 33. We're gonna give him a crazy bread. And we're expecting him to last this long. And now that he's lasted this long, he signed an extension. Like, he's still trying to stay in.
So how about this? Here's a 2-part question right here. Okay, well, I'm gonna ask you the first one first. What is an MVP to you? What is that? And then after you answer that, will LeBron qualify for MVP candidate for what he's doing this year?
I think an MVP, right? The best way to put this, right? The most valuable player, really like that. Just like breaking down that statement. I mean that the acronym, right? Is like you have to be obviously like without you, your team will suffer. Your team cannot produce without you, right? And that being said, your team also needs to win, right? So to answer the first part of the question, an MVP is somebody where if you take them out of the equation, at least for that season, because every year, obviously, you know, new people doing different roles. You take them out of the equation, you will see a drastic change. Like this person was so valuable to this team that we could literally we're not the same without this person. You feel me? So over it, I'm gonna say that's the answer to your first question. The second question, LeBron James, sadly, I don't consider him an MVP this year or in the race. And if he was, he'd sadly be low in the race. Maybe like if it was a top 10 list, I could see him maybe being 7, 8, something like that. Just for the simple fact that right now the Lakers aren't winning. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? They're doing better than they have been these last few weeks, but they aren't winning as much as a MVP kind of candidate team or like those top teams in the West right now or in general are producing. So I would have considered him a MVP compared to a lot of other names right now. But LeBron James definitely has statistics like an MVP. I do give him that. Okay. But because, like I said, I still think winning is an important factor because that being said, over the last few years, you know, you've had people like Russ, Nikola Jokic, like all these people that have won an MVP and their team wasn't like super high, but they did make the playoffs. And I feel like that already is kind of like you gotta, if you're not even contending for a championship in some sort of way, even if it's making the top 6 seeds or whatever, you can't even be in that list because unless everybody in like the 1 through 6 seeds, they're all like on some like we're really playing a team sport, and then you got that one dude like on some Damian Lillard who's like the 10th seed, and he's the one, you know, his stats are just blowing everyone out the water. Then maybe that conversation might change. But as of right now, it's like, let's be honest, history has shown the greatest teams always have at least one great player. You feel me?
That's true.
That one player that's like the valuable, you know.
The one thing I would say though is that because last year they gave the MVP to a 6 seed, and last year who won the championship? The Warriors, right?
Yep.
So what seed were they like when they entered the playoffs?
I think they were. I'm pretty sure they was top 3. I'm actually not sure, but
so
I know they were top seed.
So seeing that, and then hearing people like hearing that argument that LeBron might not. I get what you're saying though, because they are in the playoffs. There is, you feel me, a couple things that they are lacking. But when you say okay, most important to your team, every time LeBron's not on that floor, with the exception of like maybe the last couple games where they did pull out some wins, he's that man on the floor. Now Jokic, he was playing most of last season and they was 6 seed. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I hear both sides of that, but it's like it's kind of hard for me to whether really differentiate between whether the MVP vote is a fan base vote now or is basically voted on like how good and the stats of that player. Because granted, right now Jokic is number 1 seed, triple double. So
that it makes sense for him to get the MVP.
I get
it's
that,
a fact, especially because he's excelled every year.
Exactly.
But for me,
I feel
it's
like
like
it should be not to cut you off, but I feel like if you're gonna do MVPs like that, it should be consistent every year. It shouldn't be like a
switch up.
Yeah, because then
I feel like to make it easier, like to like make it clear of what MVP should be every year is whoever's at the top, right? Like, not to say you can't win MVP if you're a really low seed, but it just wouldn't make sense because you're losing for a reason. The point of the game is to win, right? There's that's got to be the number 1 priority for everybody, not how good am I, because let's be honest, the NBA has amazing stars, a bunch of them that can ball out. So it really should be about winning, right? Now, when it comes to the people that are winning, that group of, you know, the 8, I guess there's 8 on each side. So let's say the 16 teams, right? Who out of these 16 teams are really like showing out compared to the rest, right? So it's like, yes, LeBron is doing well, but the fact that he's not even making, that team isn't making the cut of the 8 teams, I feel like it's hard for me to put him against the Giannis, put him against the Nikola, because Nikola is doing triple-double, like you said, number 1 seed. That to me seems more valuable of a person than someone that's balling out, dropping 30, 40 every night, and, you know, with 8 assists, 7 rebounds. I know LeBron, for me, he puts all stats across the board,
So does the triple-double automatically offset anybody else's because, like I said,
see, right now, because of the way the league is, like in the sense of standings and how close a lot of teams are, especially in the West, I think Nikola has got it right now.
Yeah,
Like, there's
yeah,
not one that you can't like go, oh, is it this person? Nah, Nikola as of right now, today's date, it's Nikola Jokic.
You could say Giannis, but the fact that Giannis is too consistent in what he does,
that's a
is
fact.
why they won't give him
Also, Giannis has kind of been like, yeah, he's been killing it, but he hasn't been that MVP player we've seen before. He's been kind of taking a step back when it comes to points.
But is that
he's
because,
been balling like, rebounds everywhere else? He's been doing really
though,
well.
Is it because you expect a 30-point game out of Giannis? Because that's not like this. This is what I was thinking to myself too. That's not easy to average 30, 12.
Nah, it's not easy because look at Luka. Feel me? Luka's doing that shit every year.
That's what I'm saying. Is it because we used to that already? We kind of downplayed it because, like I said, he's having a good season, and the Bucks is one of the top. You feel me?
That's fact. They won the first seed.
You get what I'm saying? So
he's like second, but it's just the idea of, I guess for me, it's just like Nikola Jokic is doing something remarkable, right, for his position, right? Yeah, he's kind of doing this like this will be his third year straight winning it. So like the first 2 years of him doing this, he was like, oh wow, like he could pass for a big man, right? That was his first thing. And the second one was like, well, he's doing it better. Like him and Joel Embiid was going at it, but then Joel like got injured or like fell off a little bit. So it was hard for him. It was like, well, nah, Nikola ran away with it. That was what happened last year. Now this year, it's like, yo, he's a big man. He's 7 feet tall, and now he's averaging a triple-double. So it's like, to me, it was hard for LeBron and all these other, like you said, when you're already average, when you already showed the world, right, like, oh, I can do this. The only way to get another MVP, sadly, is like you said, you kind of got to like show like, oh, nah, I didn't do this. Like I showed you a little bit of this. I showed you a little bit of that. And it's hard for like LeBron where every year he's amazing. Every year he could have been MVP. Every single year. Every year that LeBron has played at least 60, 70 games, which I'm pretty sure has been every year of his career, but he could have won MVP in the sense of when it comes down to just comparing stats. Nothing else. We didn't care about winning. We just say, yo, as a player, comparing all the stats to everyone else, he could be in that conversation for sure. But it's just the idea that like you gotta win. You gotta. There's other factors to this where it's like, right, Giannis is number one and Nikola's number one. Mm-hmm. Nikola's showing us something where it's like, yo, you're exceeding what you've already been doing. Giannis, not saying he's not exceeding because like you said, his team is winning, he's still doing it right. But it's just the idea that as a player, you're taking a slightly different approach or different role, and you're not like maxing it out like a Nikola Jokic or a Luka, where they like every night. I feel like Giannis, not saying every night like he doesn't ball out. Of course, he's doing it at the highest, and he's an amazing athlete. But it's just like if we saw you consistently put up all these stats, and then one year you're not doing it as much, even though your team is winning. How valuable are you to that team? Does that just mean your team is good?
But
you feel me?
But see, this is the last thing I want to say before we segue. My thing is that you've been 3-time MVP Nikola Jokic, right?
Well,
every year you
see.
get, well, you feel me? I'm assuming, but every year you get into the playoffs, you get bounced out. Now, the past few years, the MVPs have been Giannis, Jokic, and who's before Jokic?
Before Jokic, it was Giannis.
Okay, so then that nigga won a chip. You know what I'm saying? Like, so for me, it's just like I get how like you're excelling, yes, but that's your ceiling though. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what it looks like.
I feel you, but real quick, it's the problem with the MVP and all the awards in general, it's a season thing, right? So the season, right, is what you're competing for awards, right? Mm-hmm. And your seeding, right, to see if you're gonna be either home or away or if you're a top dog or whatever. And then it's like, since you're competing with the seeding, right, to see how you will do in the tournament, that's pretty much what it is. The regular season is a setup for, okay, who was really good this year to deserve a tournament? So these awards that you're getting are only based on season, sadly. We can't compare them. That's why you get the finals MVP when you bowled out in the playoffs, because that's a whole different award.
But that MVP right there don't even mean shit like that either.
It's great. I mean, I feel like for legacy purposes it does. Like, especially if you, like, for example, like,
I know Iguodala's finals MVP does not mean shit. To me, personally, that finals MVP was not.
But because of that, I would bet money that he would be a Hall of Famer.
Oh, of course. But that right there does not warrant a finals MVP.
Nah, that's true. That's true. But I'm just saying, like, if he didn't get that award, I bet that would debate on his Hall of Fame status just because of that award.
I mean, yes and no, because that nigga has championships now. So like they're gonna.
I mean, even the 4 ring, I guess
he's a part of that.
But like,
dynasty
he's not. He's like, I don't know exactly how the Hall of Fame works, like second, first ballot, all that stuff. But I feel like it's definitely pushed him further to be a first ballot or a possible top Hall of Famer because. I mean, I don't really know how it works, but because of that award, because there's other people on that team that got those rings and they're not really talked about. You feel me? I forgot his name. Damn, he like played for them and then he went to like the Suns. Yeah, over the Raptors. Yeah, oh my god,
I don't know his name. I forgot.
Word, but there's a dude that played on them. He's for 2-3 years, and it's like
when I say rings, that though, when I say that, I'm talking about the niggas who actually played though. Like he didn't play.
Yeah, that's
like
a fact. Andre
Iguodala, they gave him that because of they say like he locked up LeBron. That's what they going like. That's
which
like
is crazy because if you look at LeBron's stat, it's like how is that locked up? Like
which is my point. Which is like all right, that's kind of cool, whatever. But but it is what it is. But I'm interested to see who's going to win the finals this year. I'm interested to see how the playoffs is going to turn out.
Fact,
as we switch,
I'm not gonna lie, real quick, before we switch. I need 3 predictions right now. We already got who MVP is, right? But who you think is coming out of the East? Who you think is coming out of the West? And that champion, baby, who's taking it all? Right now, as of what's today? It's March 10th, March 9th. Today's March 9th, 2023. This is the Wolf2Wolf prediction.
Word. All right.
For the 2023 championship. How that looks? What's gonna happen? Off the top of your head.
FanDuel, I need a couple. I need a bag.
I'm not gonna. I need a meal. Like.
I don't know, cause for me, is it like the Warriors? As much as I don't like them niggas,
it's funny. I was thinking that too.
You can't sleep on them when they are healthy in the playoffs because they will torch you. Like I don't understand I don't know what's going on. It's just they play good basketball.
And not even that, they have not to cut you off. I know I still want to hear your prediction, but like you have amazing players that have taken roles, right? They take step backs during the season, but then that playoffs come around, it's like, oh nah, like we need you, like you was the number 1 pick, Andrew Wiggins. We need you, and guess what he did? He turned up.
But I'm not gonna lie, he took a
same with Jordan Poole.
He took a back seat though, because what I feel like is that Andrew Wiggins, he should have been taking that Clay spot because because Clay. Clay's always going to be able to do what Clay does. He's there to shoot. He's proved himself. You know what I'm saying? Andrew Wiggins, he just won the chip, right? Yeah. He's still trying to, feel me? Because he was kind of the third option over in Minnesota, but wasn't really that much of a third option.
He was supposed to be also first option, but
so and then he comes to Golden State, and then he's like he picks it up. He picks up the slack. They get that chip, and then now it's like we don't see that nigga no more. You don't see Andrew Wiggins on the floor like that because Klay Thompson out there now. So I don't know. But other than that, I would say Phoenix is done. They're not making it.
Damn,
I don't know. KD, I'm sorry that I don't know, bro. Like tie sneakers a little bit tighter, bro. Be a little bit more careful. Like
I don't know, man. Respectfully, AD and KD, y'all made a paper, bro. I appreciate y'all. I know y'all put in a lot of work. I know I have no idea what y'all go through, but for some reason, y'all bodies are very fragile to the point you get injured more than everyone else. So
and that shit is crazy because it's like they picked up KD for the simple fact that they're chasing his ring right now. And
out he goes.
There you go. And it's like it happens every year though. Like he always either, with the exception of the Brooklyn Buck shit, but foot on the line. It's always.
And even in that, half that team was injured, man. Like Kyrie and Harden wasn't even
half
in
the season. Word, but all right. So my predictions. Let's go.
Word. Jump to them.
I'm gonna say either the Bucks.
Okay.
The Heat, because that's my Heat. I'm gonna always throw my Heat in there. Whatever, I don't care. You feel me? Feel how you feel.
I don't know. Maybe Jimmy could come out the AFC, man. Take him out first round.
Listen, we did it. We did it before. We've come into We've been into the finals in the past 3 years. We can do it again. But I would say the Bucks or the Cavs, because I like how the Cavs is looking right now. Copy. They're like they're a sleeper team. Because I'm not gonna lie, Donovan Mitchell, Darius Garland. Jared Allen,
they're just young. That's personally how I feel. I think they're not ready yet, but
that's good though. That's good though because in my thing is that they hungry. So like this is like their first year with like post LeBron era being
it's
like a force. Like yo, this is Cleveland. Like Cleveland.
Like Cleveland.
And I'm not gonna lie. Just an honorable mention. I don't think they're gonna win the chip, but Sacramento.
That's a fact. Another young team.
Crazy, but yeah, I'm gonna say out of the East it's either the Bucks or the Cavs, and out the West. That's hard. Like I say the Warriors as as a possibility, but it's like I don't even see the Nuggets winning that. I don't really see nobody in the West has made a clear punch that we going. Hold
on, this might be that team
where like it feels like it's very up in the air right now. Like the East, I could see like the Bucks coming out, maybe even Boston if they get their shit together because they've been balling. But the Bucks and the Cavs, I feel like they're gonna definitely do their thing. And yeah, so what about you? What you think?
I'm not gonna lie, this is gonna be just straight up. Like I think the Bucks and the Warriors are gonna be in the finals, and I think Giannis might be able to take out the Warriors. And the reason why I say that is one, like you said, the West is shaky, so I'm going with a confident answer in the Warriors because the Warriors, even though they're part of that shaky West, when it comes to the playoffs, like you said, whole nother ball game. Feel me? And they got their man Clay. Like they had him last year, which makes sense why they won. But now he's really full force. He's had a few 40-point games this year. He's been bowling. So Last year he was also like, I just came back. I'm trying to get my rhythm. This year he's been bowling. Like he's been inconsistent, but it's like he can still give you that game.
Real quick, before you give me yours, how much of an impact do you think this Ja Morant situations will have on Memphis, like going into the playoffs?
Oh yeah, that's a big thing, bro. Just like when history repeats itself. So when you look at all these other teams in the past, and it's like, oh, what if? This is a what if. Ja Morant is out, and that being said, he just announced that they've dropped all the charges or everything. The investigation has stopped or whatever. So he's gonna be coming back. But like, it's just the idea that, bro, like, whatever you do, especially as a star player of a team, it's going to reflect in the locker room. It's going to reflect in everywhere because guess what? Now bro mad at you, this situation. Again, that all being said, I'm not in no locker room. I don't know exactly what goes on, but history repeats itself. When these people in news, it's very rare. Please, if someone could show me or let me know in the comments a link where a team had this super, super downhill situation or some crazy shit and then they ended up winning the championship. It's very rare. I'm not saying it didn't happen. It's not possible. I don't think it has, but it's very rare. So, that all being said, I really think it's going to be Warriors, Bucks, and I think Giannis be able to take them out. On some, like, end the Warriors kind of dynasty because the fact that they still here.
Team up.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised, bro. That's what, feel me? That's how this history repeats itself.
It's true.
And Giannis already showed he could get that ring. Feel me? He beat a great team in Phoenix that year. Phoenix was an amazing team. They balled out. And Giannis did it once. I would not be surprised if he could do it again because Boston showed, like, Jason Tatum got locked up in the finals last year, bro. That shit was honestly sad. He's a young star, though. That's kind of how it happened. Like LeBron, first time he went to the finals, San Antonio locked his ass up. Same with in that first year in Miami. He didn't his stats, yes, they were good, but they weren't all that.
That first year in Miami, he did good. It was just that
he did good, but you could tell that the Dallas the coaching of the Dallas Mavericks was impeccable.
I'm gonna be honest. I want to give part credit to that, but part credit to like them niggas, like, that was more of a, I feel like they took their foot off the gas at the wrong time. Yeah, that's what it was. Like, because they had him right there. I was watching all the games. That's a fact. And as I'm watching them games, it's like they thought they had it. So it's like.
Also, real quick, I'm a big Dallas fan. Shout out Dirk Nowitzki, because that year he won that ring, his only ring.
Yeah, me and him had that was a rough year.
Hold on. We gotta shout him out real quick for the simple. We gotta shout out the Dallas Mavericks as a whole. Shout out Mark Cuban too. Fuck with you, my boy. Anyway.
We're going to be on Shark Tank real soon.
Yeah,
we got an
that's
idea
a
for
fact.
You, bro.
But either way, shout out to Dallas Mavericks for the simple fact that he went against a young KD, James Harden, and Russ. That being said, I know they wasn't matured yet. Kobe Bryant, who just won 2 years in a row, took him out, swept them, by the way.
He didn't win no 9, did he? No, that was something.
Nah, he swept. No. He swept the Lakers.
Oh, yeah. You mean the Mavericks?
No, the Mavericks swept the Lakers.
But you talking about 2 years in a row. You talking about?
No, because Kobe was the 09 champion in the 2010 and then 2011. So he took out the champion. If you think about it, the most recent champion, he swept them. And feel me? And I don't know if
that team was a bunch of fucking old heads. That's why I got
all
me
I'm saying
tight,
is them old heads had 2 rings, bro.
Yeah, that's cool enough. But damn,
and he took out the new heads too. He took out the youth. You feel me? He took out the youth. He took out the old heads, and he took out the current champs, like the current. Feel me? He did it all. Dirk Nowitzki, Dallas Mavericks. That's an unbelievable. That out of all finals runs, out of all playoff appearances, that's got to be a top 5. Just because of that. You beat a lot of legends.
That was a good performance. But look, as we feel me, we're gonna segue into a little game I like to call "Take Them to School." It's gonna be one of the few games we have over here. So I'm gonna name a couple things. Ooh. Y'all can name a couple things, and then we're gonna give a grade on it. So,
okay. So let's talk about the grading system. How does it out of 10? Is it A, B, C?
A, B, C, D, E, F. Just like, you feel me? Like, and then you can give you a reasoning why. So it could be anything. So I'm gonna give you a couple things. All right. So the first one.
Okay.
Let's talk about it.
Let's do it.
How do y'all feel? Give it a grade for me. Jordan 1s.
Okay, so what we're asking for is really just off of like our opinion, no matter what it is.
Either like, what you like, how you feel about it. Yeah. Whatever you grade it.
All right, so I'm gonna give a Jordan 1 an A tier for the simple fact that of its legacy that is left. Feel me? It's an iconic shoe. Literally, they're making a movie called, like, I think it's Air.
That movie's gonna be whack.
Probably, because respectfully,
they even got Michael Jordan.
You're in a lot of bad movies. You're a cool actor.
And you too, Ben Affleck. You too. We didn't forget about you, Ben Affleck.
Anyway, oh man, that's a whole nother. That's just bad characters in general.
Take that nigga off Batman, please.
Anyway, that being said, it's left a legacy. It's left an insane legacy. So Jordan 1 has to be A tier. You feel me? And I think that's just kind of goes with no question. Everyone can have their own opinion, but when it comes to the culture, it comes to the change. And literally, Nike has built a pyramid off of Jordan. You feel me? And Jordan 1, without that first sneaker, who knows what we would be today. So Jordan 1 is a A tier.
What you think, Ralph?
I'm not gonna lie, that's definitely like 8.5, 9 for me personally, just cause.
So on a grading scale,
Yeah, we in school with it. A, B, C.
I was going like 85. So what's that? At 85?
It's like a B
90?
plus.
B is a B.
B plus, B plus, A minus. I'm giving that because that's such a classic silhouette. Like he said, Mash is built on it, but just that color, that silhouette itself has so many colorways that are so attractive and so simple. Like they're so simple.
And you know I'm gonna have to give it an A because for me,
I'm dead. He got it on his feet.
got him all right now. Like I'm not gonna lie, yeah.
Feet.
Like this is just it's like a cultural thing. Like you feel me? Like this right here, like they banned these sneakers. Like you know what I'm saying?
Literally,
like
the banned ones. If you know, you know.
That's how real it is. So I think they're very important to just fashion. I think
that's a fact.
They're very important to the culture. Like everybody in the league wanted Jordans, so it's just like, yeah, I need them Jordan 1s, and then it just from there.
Not even that, like the way it switched up. Like the dude balled out in these. They made him so he could ball out in them, and it's literally changed to a point where you have superstar celebrities, you yourself, the people you know, wearing them and wanting them on their feet to style, not to ball out. Like no, you bowling in 1s. Like it's literally changed its legacy over time, and it's still a shoe that we want and has been customized by the great Virgil, by the great all these different collab Dior. These designer brands have literally grabbed the silhouette and tried to do something with it. That's a legacy shoe.
All right, so I see Jordan 1's got around A minus tier right here. So next one I got for you should be a good one right here. You feel me?
What you got for us?
I'm gonna switch it up. Go a little person based right now. Kanye West.
Ooh,
that's an A plus for me, dog.
I'm not gonna lie. Respectfully,
for me.
There you go.
Not only is it an A plus, but it's just the idea that it's just one of one. Like I don't even want to put this nigga in a tier. He's superior.
Whether it be fashion, whether it
Anything.
be music, whether
Anything.
it be
Your
his
favorite
videos,
rapper's influenced by Kanye West.
He's got influence in it, and he's influenced me personally. So he's definitely heavy in the rotation for music. And maybe his political views might not be the best thing for you, but I'm looking for every other aspect of Kanye other than that.
Word,
I'm
I feel like
cherry picking Kanye, and I still give him an A plus.
When we got dropped the for Kanye, man, Funk Flex bomb, but
there you go.
Kanye's definitely a plus tier. And like Ralph said, like you may not agree with his politics, but I also want to give this type of insight. Like people give too much power to a person that's a celebrity. Like they give too much power to their words. So it's like at the end of the day, when you wouldn't care about the motherfucker saying this shit on the street, you care about him saying it because he's Kanye West and
because there's like 1,000 cameras in front of him.
Exactly.
And you keep seeing him on your feed.
You wouldn't correct the nigga on the street saying some of the shit that you hear right now just because it's none of your business and
before
you don't care.
my fault to interrupt you, but before you say, oh, it's because of his influence, because of his this. Yes, we know people listen, but why are we judging someone for his opinions? Like that to me is like. Well, I thought that was the point. That's how he got to where he was. He had to use all his opinions. He gathered his ideas, and that's how he got to.
Just because somebody has influence, you have the free will, so you don't have to. It's nothing you have. He's not telling you to bow down to him. He's not telling you. He's just
telling you what he feels.
Exactly.
And there should be nothing wrong with that. I thought that was the point. We all should be able to say as we feel because that's what I want you to speak your mind. That's truth to you, right? So
that's a fact.
That's superior. A plus or whatever. A, you feel me? That's to the top of the top.
All right, so I'm gonna throw it over to y'all. Y'all got I got a random thing I want to grade.
Ooh, I don't know. Talk to me, Rob. My nigga, Rob. You got something for me?
What you want us to grade, Ralph? What you got in the head over there?
Scholastics.
Ooh, like the book fair?
Yeah.
Yo, I'm not okay.
Memory unlocked.
Those are A plus for the fucking vibes, but like a C for the experience, because then niggas be broke.
And a
some
D
of those
for the bread. I'm about to say D for the bread.
Yo, my mom was trying to give me bread for the books every time the Scholastic Fair came up. I'm not gonna lie,
you
wouldn't even know when it came up.
You really knew.
They would give me bread for books, and I was not buying books.
And if you really knew, you wasn't buying the books. You was buying snacks after you stole the books, because that's what I was doing anyway.
See?
Like,
that's why he behind the camera. We can't even show
that's
him.
The Catholic school special right there. You wasn't ready for that.
Dead. If you know, you know.
But that's definitely an A plus for the experience, a C for the for the funds at the time.
And overall, I'm gonna give it a B.
Yeah, overall.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna give it an A just cause like that experience, like back in the day, they used to have the little books that you could order like every other month type shit.
Yes,
They would take us out of class for that shit. Like that's
word. Like they would make it a big ass special. Like, yo, you don't got no bread, well, you can't buy the Spider-Man guide, yo. And when they would come in with that package, when they would come in with that delivery from Scholastics, and the niggas that didn't get Scholastics, bro, they was tight. And sometimes that was me. But the whole like show that they put on for Scholastics was really hard body karate, my nigga. Like,
it's way better than the classes themselves. That's a fact.
But what about you? What you grading that?
Ooh, what's the thought? Like what topic or whatever?
Not the
oh yeah, I said B. I said B.
All right, so, yeah,
everybody wanted that shredded $100 bill. Come on, bro. Everybody wanted that. Everybody wanted that.
All right, so what you got for me that you want to grade?
Ooh, let's see something to grade. I'm not gonna lie, this is kind of random, but I was gonna say like Apple as a brand. Like, what do you feel like? We all have iPhones now. We all try to use the technology. They have the greatest computer. I mean, not the greatest computer, but a computer that we all want. As in general, Apple iPhones, like they on Apple fucking iPhone 14, 15, all coming. Yeah.
I'm gonna give it a C. I'm gonna give it a C, but I gotta pass the class because it's a core class. Because that's how I feel. Yeah, I don't want to be so Apple heavy, but I'm so heavy into the Apple atmosphere ecosystem. Yeah. That my whole house is Apple, so
that's what I'm saying. That's exactly why it's like
I'm gonna give it like a B, because like I don't really like the fact that everything is just like Apple this, Apple that, because it makes you have to go spend that bread. Like when they even put out these new phones, you got to go buy the extra block for the charge because the shit it don't come with the phone no more, shit like that. Like
word, it's the way that they keep flipping shit and bringing it back.
But the reason I give it a B though is because the it's mad user friendly. Like this shit is very simple. And don't get me wrong, I know there's Samsung phones, I know there's other phones out there that probably do way more shit, but this shit is just like it's
the like, aesthetic that's in, bro. Like let's be honest, that's really what it is. Like, it's the aesthetic that's in is working, and it's just like when you want a new phone and when you think about a good phone, it's Apple phone. You know what I'm saying? iPhone.
Who want to text the green bubble every day, bro? Because I
don't want to see. I mean,
be honest with yourself. Unless it's like your pops or your moms or some shit, and even that, my mom's
grandma, somebody
don't know how to use it. So it's like
that ass.
But I definitely would give it a B because it's like I said, it's user friendly, but like it does come with the downsides that you have to have everything Apple. Once you get something Apple, is like everything else can connect to that. So
it's also but in a way like I'm gonna give it a C plus for the simple fact that it's just like you said, it's interconnected, but it has to be interconnected with its devices. So that's kind of like I don't want to say like the scam, but it's just kind of like, yo, like, oh yeah, you bought this. Well, like, if you want to do this cool thing, you're going to need this device from us. And then you're going to need this from us. And like, or like the best option at least from us. You could always do shit on your own, and that's interesting if you got it like that. But let's be honest, most people don't. So they go with the simple way, just purchase that, get it through. So I'm going to give it a C plus, because Apple as a brand over time, after all the movies they made, legacy, cool. But how many phones you gonna make this the same as the last one, bro? For real. And same with the computers, everything. Cool. We know every year it's gonna get a little bit better, but like to me, it means you're just holding it off to like, okay, we're gonna make it just a little bit better every year, and then next year we're gonna make it a little bit better, even though you got access to something that's way better. You feel me?
That's a fact. All right, so that was our first edition of Take 'Em to School, y'all. Feel me? I appreciate y'all for playing.
Feel me?
Yeah.
Hopefully I passed.
Shit, we all did with flying colors, man. We all did.
There you go.
So what y'all think about this whole, like, we live in this system now, this social media system where it's like you could get canceled for your ideas. So you can have an idea where you can have an idea, you could have some type of statement, and then that right there, without any context, without any type of clarification, somebody makes a judgment based on you, and then they try to erase you out of whatever the fuck they think you're erasing you out of. And for me personally, I think that shit is so trash. Like, everybody's allowed to have their own opinion. Yes, people have fucked up opinions, but people can also learn from those things. And if they don't want to learn from those things, that's on them. That's when you label that person as, all right, you just, feel me, you difficult in your own way. You don't want to, but even then, you don't have to see my point of view.
Exactly. I think it's always, comes down to perspective, right? So it's like, the problem with the ideas and cancel culture and social media, right, is that there's some sort of there's a majority, right, and the majority sides with one way, whatever that way may be, and it's like, now this way is right, right? That's a society thing. It's just kind of like, yo, we all agree on this, so this kind of has to be the way. And if it's not this way and it goes against the majority's terms, or let's be honest, the controlled person, the person that's controlling it all's terms, you feel me? There's an issue. We have a problem. We have to do something about it. We have to, because the way you're thinking, the vibe isn't what fits what we going for, and that's, you know what I'm saying. Cool, I get it, but at the same time, at the end of the day, is the point of being free is to do as you please up to the point of where it doesn't affect nobody else, in the sense of, I personally feel it should be when it comes to physical, right? Because it's like, I think you should be able to say what you want, because years ago they said what they wanted, and now you literally, there's so many things you can't say without this and that. Obviously you don't want to hurt or affect on somebody else's. Maybe there's things you should keep to yourself. That's something I agree on that as well. But it's just the idea that if you feel and think a certain way, if someone that was in control felt it, or like I said, if the majority feels that, oh yeah, this is okay, even though you feel that it's not, now no one's gonna listen to you, because like I said, majority doesn't agree with you. So either way you want to go with it, if the society or majority doesn't, or if social media doesn't want to show it in your face or throw it in your face, then that doesn't make it common or popular or whatever, or correct. You know what I'm saying? So,
that's a fact. What you think, Rolf?
Personally, I think context is definitely important. I feel like people are like removing context from a lot of things, and some people are saying some wild shit within context. So it's that double-edged sword, right? But the whole point of freedom of speech is that we're supposed to have conversations, right? Like, we're supposed to, I want to hear what that person says, because maybe I don't believe it, but now I have another perspective in a world that I don't exist in, right? Where that whole thing of canceling, now this person's saying it by themselves to a group of people by themselves, but they're still saying it. Like, those things still exist. Canceling it doesn't change it. That just sounds like censorship to me.
Pretty much.
And like, censorship to me is more dangerous than whatever anybody could say, because now I could tell you what to say or what's allowable to say, and that conditions you a certain way. You know what I mean?
Exactly. And that changes over time.
Yeah, like, yo, I don't agree with everything that everybody says, and like, some people say wild shit and I might not agree, but now I know where that person stands and their perspective on things.
Little word of the wise: you don't have to agree with everybody. You just treat everybody with respect. That's it.
Facts.
You feel me?
So
you don't have to agree
And
with
if you really feel some type of way about what they're saying, and you are supporting them by watching their videos, stop. If you're supporting them through financial gain, whether it be a company like Gucci or like a bunch of other companies that are blatantly giving you shit you don't like, stop supporting them with your money, because your wallet speaks way louder than your words. Sadly.
And your actions in general.
I don't know if y'all
Not even just
remember
your
that.
wallet.
We was supposedly boycotting Gucci. Well, African Americans,
Balenci?
minorities. You feel me? We was boycotting Gucci a couple years ago, and there's still
that's true.
motherfuckers in Gucci to this day. So it's like, for me, it's just like, there's a lot of social warriors out here that want to act like they're on some type of, yeah, I'm an activist, I'm gonna get this shit. Feel me? We gonna change this, but then it's like you falling right back into the trap that you telling everybody else not to fall back into. Because
the trend ends. That's really much what I'm realizing, right? It's just like, oh yeah, this is the hot commodity right now. Like I said, it's kind of like, oh, we're all agreeing. Every page, every whatever, like you said, social media agrees that this needs to be what's talked about and what we need to focus on, and then it dies down. And oh yeah, Gucci's doing a collab with this person now, and this is happening, or whatever that may be. You know what I'm saying? Or this is the new director, this dude that you really fuck with. You know what I'm saying? A whole nother spectrum to it, because we didn't jack these people, but now it's being run by a whole nother person. So now we're cool with them again or something. You know? It's
and
just
also,
like,
it's sad because they like to target, us as minorities with showing us in this stuff. Like, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of, brands that don't, but like, when they have these target audiences, they want to show the dudes in the hood. They want to flash, and they want to. Yeah, I just spent $3,500 on these fucking shoes.
that's all we get. That's all they want to show us. Exactly. That's
so
a
we
fact.
can forever just go waste our money on shit.
So exactly that we see them because they're like another minority.
Exactly.
See, but that's the thing.
They're not even a minority. They're projecting just.
That's what I'm saying. They're trying to tell us that that's what it is when it's not.
But it's also a never-ending cycle, right? Where it's like those houses that are making these styles are pitching to us, even though they don't want us there, right? Mm-hmm. So even though they're pitching to us, and now we have influence in the company, and we want diversity in those companies, they're feeding it to us in the way that they want to.
Exactly.
It's like, yo, this is the way we see diversity, even though it's not very inclusionary. Yeah, there's people of color that are actually running like Louis Vuitton or other houses, right? But the way they're feeding it to us is like we're not getting any corporate positions, right? How many people of color, even though yes, he's the head of design right now for Louis Vuitton, does he have company options, right? Is he owning part of that company? No. Moet, Louis Vuitton, and Hennessy are still eating off of black culture. Bet you just got a superstar to represent the black culture. You got your Toucan, or you got your what's it called? Count Dracula on your cereal box, but you're still selling General Mills at the end of the day.
Yep.
So it's like, I
It's
appreciate
just a
it.
face at the end of the
I
day.
appreciate it because it is our culture, and it's good to see how our culture has now become considered high culture, even though we're not included in it as heavily. But at the same time, it seems like they're just putting on a show for us, so we could spend money with them, and they could do it with their friends for free, and then call us broke for it. It's like, what? This style you stole from broke niggas, and now you calling us broke because we can't afford the broke
the
niggas
finesse,
style?
And then when
Game
you
of life,
show
word.
and if you show that you made
Finesse.
that shit before, it's like, nah, you copied us. And like, nigga, you copied the nigga that was on the ground.
And not even
doing
that,
this
but
first.
it's like on some like you said, if I made something and someone took it and it was someone that has way more power, everyone's gonna want that version of it anyway. Feel me? You know what I'm saying? This version, like, it's crazy I'm saying that because I'm wearing a brand that's definitely copy people, and it's like because it's that brand, we have it. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not gonna lie, I just got this from my man's, but
But even on that same token of Supreme, right? Like I do, the way they steal ideas is not the right way. There are good ways to, I wouldn't say steal, but pay homage to things that are old.
exactly.
Whereas,
That's
like,
a better wording.
Not to cut you off, but I heard Pharrell say something that was very good, like very important. It stuck out to me. He said, "No idea is necessarily yours, and you're just going into a library of ideas, and you're just taking out and borrowing that. So you feel me? Don't be afraid to use that. But
And it's
don't-
just and
nothing is
but like
new,
you
my
said,
nigga,
like you
nothing.
said, like the homage to it is like appreciating it, understanding where it came from, showing. I feel like there's nothing wrong. Like it goes down to the respect thing, bro. If you respect the person, if you really fucked with something that you wanted to copy or take
especially
from
if it's
it,
your influence word.
yeah, it's exactly like just show love to the creator or whatever that. Because like you said, we have a form like we right now we just did a whole list of wrestlers that we fucked with, but like they had a. Before that, there was some shit, you feel me? This sort of WWF, like whatever it was before. It's like every single, over time, there's things that are being like, oh, now we're going to tweak this. We're going to alter this. We're going to, even like movies and shows now, those are all have been written a million times. We did movies, every single, like 90% of movies you see now had an original idea or original thing that was like, this is where this started. This is the original movie that this came from. So it's just like, as long as you're paying homage to that or giving some sort of respect to it, I feel like that's
Word.
that's what you want because that's where you get your inspiration from anyway. Like for us, you're gonna take your ideas from something that's already happened.
Yeah, Tribe Called Quest, Q-Tip has a line where he's talking to his dad. He's like, "Dad, don't you know that Bobby's just amping like Michael? Life just keeps going around like a cycle. Like everything is repeated and rinsed and repeat. Like, yo, we went through a phase where people were wearing neon leggings. Like it was the 80s again.
That's
like
right.
popping colors.
is.
Like, oh, now we in the 90s phase.
Word,
oh,
now we the
want
baggy
early
clothes.
2000s.
First we was on the tight
Word.
shit. Now we on the baggy
Now
clothes,
we're in
tight
the back of
jeans,
the
and
oversized,
yeah,
right.
it's back to the oversized.
That whole idea of being life is cyclical and not to be afraid to take from those ideas, but like you said, pay homage. Like Quentin Tarantino's a very good thief of a bunch of different ideas, but he
Facts.
put his own mix to it, so now they're
Exactly.
his ideas. And
Yup.
it's no longer thievery; it's now homage.
Yep.
It's a form
Somebody
of
would
art,
argue
literally.
that, but like I would say it's homage to a lot of great things.
So
it's a
kind
form
of
of
sticking
art.
with this cancel culture thing, since we all individually are artists and we all do something like that we passionate about, how do you feel that you might react or you might handle somebody or a situation where they might try to cancel something that you said or cancel you based on something you said or something you've done or something you put out in the world? Like how do you think y'all would handle that?
But like, is it a specific person? Or you saying more of
Like,
like
you specifically, like say you hosting or some shit and you say something and that like is
they're like, whoa, or some shit, yeah.
it's regular to you, but it's like somebody is like, oh, wait, hold on, like I don't like that, or like say you doing an art piece and it ruffles some feathers. And like for me, if I make a song and I say some shit and it ruffles some feathers, like how would y'all react to that if there was like a,
Honestly, I would try to understand where people are coming from at first, because if it also depends on how heavily I believe on whatever I got canceled on, right? Where it's like, if I believe heavily on something and people are disagreeing with it, I want to know why. I want to learn more about the subject as to what's
That's a
going
great
on.
point.
Because if I blatantly like, nah, I believe this wholehearted 10 toes down for whatever I'm getting canceled for, that's dumb, because people are obviously having a different perspective. Like, why do you have that perspective? Let me understand it. If I still don't understand it and I still agree with what I said, then I'm going to stand on it, but from a point of you can believe whatever you want and I can too. And I could still be your friend, but if you're trying to cancel me, it's like, then don't support me. I'll try to find a crowd that will. And like, that's the whole point of cancel culture, where like they try to rob your whole support system. It's like, oh, where you're canceled, ain't nobody listening
you
to you.
always want to be where you're cherished at, not where you're tolerated at.
Exactly.
Facts.
Yep. That's a fact. And it's just one of them things where it's just like, yo, you could be really good at something, but you're just not in the right place, right? That's literally what that is. It's just like over here we cool with that, over there we not. That's been like that for years. You know what I'm saying? That's down to the simple things that we do here that you can't do over here or whatever. You know what I'm saying? That's always how it's been. So I'm not gonna lie, that happened to me. It was just kind of an approach where it's like, I want the static. Nah, let me stop. But now I'm real talk.
Facts,
it's
nigga.
just like, real talk. It's just like, if that really happened in front of me or in my situation, it was just like, this is how, like Ralph said, it's kind of like how I feel. After learning and understanding your perspective, or maybe it's the other way around, where it's like they maybe don't understand my side. They heard one thing about this, or what I did, or what I said, and it's like, oh, when it's like, yo, but whoa, that's not what it means. Or that's, like you said, context, very important, right? So it's like, let me just show you my perspective. Let me show you the context behind what I'm trying to say, and maybe you understand a little bit better. Because at the end of the day, it's like, unless you're like purposely trying to like show hate, or purposely trying to like show this sort of negativity, I always think that there's gonna be a middle ground or understanding. Or it's like, all right, I understand your points, I still don't agree. I mean, still disagree, or I agree now, or I think we can come to terms with this. So that's something that sounds a little bit more pleasurable or understandable.
That's a fact. For me, I mean, Control, I don't know if you've done, but for me, I'm gonna be honest. Like, my initial reaction to something like that would be, I don't give a fuck. But with, I guess, time would be like, yeah, I want to understand the other side. But for me, it's like, I know that my messages and the shit that I put out is so transparent to the fact that even if you try to misconstrue it, that's you projecting whatever you want onto what I said. So it's like, there's a level of me I care about your opinion in this sense, because if you're supporting me and you're telling me, okay, this makes you feel this way, but there's also a level of, well, you're trying to read in between some lines that aren't there. And there's a lot of people that try to make shit out of something that isn't. So it's like,
exactly, because now you're using your own, my fault to interrupt, but your own assumptions towards someone else's perspective, which makes that it's hard for you to understand.
Exactly, and that's what causes the argument and the back and forth. And it's like, for me, I'm not trying to go back and forth with you. I don't care. Like,
this is how I feel. I'm not gonna argue with you about my feelings.
And as long as granted, like, you might feel something I say in a song might be this or might be that, but you have to also understand, I am making this song for my fans in a sense, but I'm making this song from a place of me. So it's like, whatever I'm going through or dealing with at that time, that's where it's gonna stem from. It's not gonna stem from whatever you brought out of left field, your opinion over here. Like, it's not gonna do that.
So can I ask you this? Is criticism itself a form of, like, feel me? Like, is that a kind of an understanding where, I guess, maybe bad criticism, or criticism that's showing a lot of more feedback than usual? Would that be like a form of just kind of like someone not understanding your perspective?
No,
because I feel like that they're like, even though we copy these ideas, but
there's difference in criticism.
But that's what I'm saying. But what if you can't take that criticism correctly, right? Because that's something that you don't see. That's always about. You don't know.
Because there's a difference though. You could criticize somebody, but it's all about your verbiage. So if you criticizing me, you saying, yo, that shit was whack and this, that, and the
I guess that's true. Yeah,
that's not really. That's a critique, but it's not constructive at all. Because from there, the conversation
that shows me where your assumptions was at.
Pretty much, but from there, it's like, if you critique something about me, right? You critique something about my song. From there, what's the conversation that we do to push that forward? If you telling me my shit is whack, that's cool. That's your opinion also. But if you're voicing that to me now, you have to give not necessarily, but you have to tell me, you came up with that statement. You said my shit is whack. Why do you feel that way? Okay, it's not for you. Okay, I understand that. Why is it not for you? This, then the third is not for me. That's cool. But if you hit me with the, yo, that shit's whack, I don't want to fuck with it, it's not my thing, you bullshitting, and that's not very constructive to anything, and there's no conversation left to be had, because now
that's
it's like,
just you speaking your feelings.
Word. And it's like, it's either now it's like, fuck you, get out my face. Because at the end of the day, I don't really have to give a fuck about what you're saying to me, but it's always open to how we can move on in a constructive way. You're not my enemy. You feel me? Like, we don't have to be friends either, but as long as you understand the messages that I don't have no problem with you and you don't have no problem with me, it's just you don't like you feel me? You didn't like, that's not your cup of tea. That's okay.
Exactly. You don't have to be a part of it.
Exactly. You don't have to be a part of it. You don't have to downplay the shit either. Word. That's the thing. Like, people like to do the thing where it's like, if they feel left out of something, if they feel like they're not a part of something, they want to downplay it. Like, that shit whack.
Exactly. Because I'm not exactly.
Yeah, so it's like, part of that, it has to come past like, well, how much of this is actually constructive criticism, or how much of it is just you and your feelings about
you feeling a certain way because of whatever's going on in your life?
Exactly.
I mean, your perspective is just causing you to feel the friction over here when there was no friction to begin with.
Exactly.
That's a fact.
Exactly. That's big.
So now you already know we here on the Wolf2Wolf, baby. You know what I'm saying?
Thank y'all for tuning into another episode of Wolf2Wolf. I'm here again, Wolf Cobain,
Rico Cloude,
and my guy.
Ralph.
Feel
My
me? So
nigga,
yo, stay
Ralph.
tuned for the next fucking episode coming real soon,
Yo, we
y'all.
medicine on here, as y'all see. Y'all better get ready, man.
me
It's
up.
only gonna get hot from here.
Tune in, man. Drops coming soon. Follow that Wolf Menace official, Loudpack_NYC, Rico Cloud, Raphael Photos,
It's gonna be
Hunter
like
B
right
official.
here,
Word.
hopefully.
All I said that a little fast, but we
Let me
going.
see if I get this right. Like,
Got you.
comment, subscribe.
Whoa. Say riddle me this, riddle me that.